Hello, welcome to Gotham Music School's back on the drums, Trinity Rock and Pop Grade 2. Going to start with some technical stuff, get some of these exercises in there and warmed up a little bit. Alright, so did the same thing just a few minutes ago with the Grade 1 stuff, but this is a great exercise for all levels really. So what we're going to do is just practice our quavers and semi-quavers. And that means that what we need to do is, first of all, be able to count them. So remember the quavers are what we're usually hitting on the hi-hat. So the quavers are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Alright, so let's just start with that. I've got a click set at 85. I'll put it down to 80 actually. So click on 80. And what we're going to do is just hit the hit the quavers on the snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Just like that, okay? So join in. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 All right. Now what we're going to do is do the same thing, but with semi-quavers. So remember the semi-quavers, we've got to fit 4 into a beat. So we're going 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1. Okay, so this is to 80 BPM still. So 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 1. Okay, great. Now what we're going to do is combine them. So we're going to have 2 bars of the quavers and then 2 bars of the semi-quavers, all right? So that means we have to change our speed of playing. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, and so on, all right? Okay, here we go. 80 BPM again. And yeah, again, join in if you can. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1. Great little exercise. And now it's going to get a little bit harder. So what we're going to do now is include the kick drum, and the kick drum is going to mark our beats. So a kick drum is going to go on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the kick drum has to stay the same speed, all right? You're using that to mark the click. All that's changing is our hands. So we're going to do the same thing we did before, 2 bars of each, okay? And we're going to go at the same pace, so 80 BPM. Remember, your kick drum has to be on every click. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Like that. So we're adding in the semi-quavers on the kick as well. Let's try that one more time. Really focus on getting that the kick drum. I'll just mention this as well. You might have noticed, but in case you haven't noticed, your right hand will always, because it's starting, if we're starting with our right hand, it will always be in time with our kick. All right? So when I'm doing the quavers, the right hand and the right kick are always together. Then all that's happening is I'm adding in the left hand in between, which gives us the quavers. Yeah? So when I get to the semi-quavers, it's still going to be the right hand with the kick each time, but we're just adding 3 more in between. So So just really focus on making sure that your right hand and your click are kind of together throughout this, okay? All right, let's try that again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1. You can do that loads of times in a row. You can come back to the quavers, back to the semi-quavers. It's really good practice. But I just want to add in one more thing now. So with the song Miss You, we've been obviously thinking about the open and closed hi-hat. We did a bit of this the other week anyway, I think, as well. Did in the technical sessions we did this. But I don't think everybody's getting... I don't think everybody's attending those or viewing them. So it's a good idea to do a little bit of technical stuff at the beginning here too. What we're going to do now is on beat 1, we're going to do the kick. Beat 2, the pedal hi-hat. 3, the kick. 4, the pedal on the hi-hat again. All right, so it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1. So we're alternating. We're alternating, we're swapping those both times, okay? All right, let's have a little go at this. Should we start slower? Let's start a bit slower. Let me just count it, okay? So try and join in and have a go at this speed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and A, 2 and... Going too slow for me. I need a click. I can't count and play. What's going on? I'll set it to 70, okay? So it's slower. 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1 and A, 2 and A, 3 and A, 4 and A, 1. All right, so hopefully that is a little bit more challenging because we're now involving both hands, both legs, and that's a really good practice. So yeah, try and practice that one. Use it as a bit of a warm-up before you start playing, okay? It's really good. So if we take it back up, you know, you can do, if you're finding it easier at like 70 BPM, take it up to 80, take it up to 90, take it up to 100. So at 100 it would be like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... that kind of speed at 100. And obviously if that's easy as well, just go up higher and higher. It's a really good challenge. All right. Let's have a little look at Miss You and see how we're doing with that one. So we went through all parts of this the other week, so you had plenty to be working on. I know it's a little bit tricky though, and if you're struggling with the hi-hat patterns, I think the best thing to do would be to make sure you book in an open lesson slot, okay? Because it's very hard for me to see exactly what I can't see exactly what you're doing, obviously, when I'm doing the YouTube streams, which is why we've got the open lesson slots for booking as well. So yeah, feel free to jump on one of those so we can check out any problems with this hi-hat pattern. All right, if you've got it and you're happy with it, fantastic. Let's go from the bridge. So the bridge is the funny bit, isn't it? Where we're basically swapping the, well, we're swapping with the open hi-hat every beat. So it's going like that. Okay, let's just play that. Let's just play that for a bit. So yeah, just join in. We're just going to play that pattern. We're not going to follow the music in the book. All right, we're just going to play that rhythm. So it's the normal rhythm that we always play, isn't it? and we're just opening the hi-hat on the ands. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, hopefully that's given you enough time to have a little practice of the rhythm. In the song, obviously, we've got a couple of little fills. They're very simple fills, especially the first one in the bridge, because it's just, all right, on the 4 and. So let's just play up to that. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's just on the 4 and, isn't it? 4 and. Okay, let's do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. All right. Next fill towards the end of that line is where it goes 3 and 4 and. All right. 3 and 4 and onto the floor tom. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's have a go at playing that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so we've got that closed hi-hat with the kick, and then it's coming straight across to the floor tom. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 and 4 and. Okay, are you ready to play the whole line? Here we go. Let's just play that whole line and see what happens. Do join in, please. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. Then we are back into the main rhythm until we get to the end of that line. And the end of that line, we've got this little bar, haven't we? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Da, 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 da. Okay, let's play the whole of the bridge. And when we finish, if you're able to type, I know some people watch on TV and stuff, so they can't necessarily type. But if you are able to pop anything into chat, I'd love to know how you think you're doing with the bridge. So you could just pop a number from 1 to 5 in. 1 is that you're not confident with it at all. And 5 is, yeah, you think you've got it now. You're playing it well. Okay? And obviously you can put any number, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 in to give us an idea of how you're feeling about it. All right, so let's go. Let's play the bridge first, all of the bridge. And then just pop a number in the chat if you can. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, that's the whole one. All of the bridge. I think the trickiest part in the song because of all that open and closed hi-hat stuff going on. But yeah, feel free if you could pop in, that'd be lovely. Excellent, thank you very much. 4's pretty good. Happy with that. Good job. Okay, what about the whole song then? How are you feeling about the whole song? Do you want to just pop in a 1 to 4 there if you can as well? Oh, sorry, a 1 to a 5. Let's not forget there's a 5. How about the whole song, 1 to 5? Let's just see how you feel about the whole thing. And yeah, let's play it one more time while we're waiting for that to come through. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. Nice. Excellent. You know what that means then, don't you? You know what that means. That means we need to look at something else. So what I was thinking is we could have a look at She Sells Sanctuary, which is near the back of the book. And this is a really cool song. And obviously it'll give you something extra to get on with over the half-term break, all right? So should we have a quick look at that as well? This one's a bit more straightforward because it's a rock song. So we haven't got any of the open and closed hi-hat or anything like that. Page 30. And we'll just go through it nice and slowly, but there's a couple of really interesting little bits in here we need to have a look at, which is great. So it's always cool to look at new things, I think. So if you've got the page open. Oh, song 2. Yeah, song 2 is fantastic, isn't it? Should we have a look at that one instead? If you want to look at that, that's fine. Interesting thing about song 2 is that it uses the rim of your floor tom. Yeah, okay. Let me just find it. Okay. So depending on your kit, you're going to get a completely different sound off the rim of your floor tom, all right? If you've got a, normal acoustic kit, then obviously you're kind of hitting metal. You'll be kind of getting this kind of sound. Kind of, not quite. Maybe more like that. Okay. The rim of my floor tom does this. The main tom. The rim. And the rim of your floor tom may make exactly the same sound as your normal tom, depending on what kit you've got. Okay, because you need more expensive kits have, more sounds on them, basically. All right, so our basic rhythm is this. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But we're coming up here onto the left tom too, so it's a really cool one. But we'll worry about that in a minute, okay? So, yes, okay. So let's just do this main rhythm with the rim of your floor tom, because it feels a bit weird hitting down here. All right? Now, if you have, let me see if I can find it. If you've played Drum Rhythms 1, the Drum Rhythms 1 sheet, then the main rhythm is basically that we start with exercise 6, which is the same as Hot Pants as well. Okay, so let me just play that on the hi-hat. So it's just the one where we play 1 kick and then 2. Okay. All right, so that's how it starts. So if you just want to play that a second with trying to hit the rim of your floor tom, because like I said, it feels a bit weird. So let's just do that rhythm. It's not exactly this, it changes, but let's just do it for now. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Okay, have a go at that, keep going, see how you find it. Okay, so let me just play the main rhythm for you, because it's quite interesting. I'm going to turn the bass down on mine. Okay, so this is the main rhythm. So you can see that my left hand is using the snare, but also the left tom and coming across to the floor tom, and they're both hitting the same time. Okay, so there's quite a bit to work on. Let's just do this main rhythm again. How do you feel about the main rhythm using the rim of the floor tom? How do you feel about that? Give me a 1 to 5 on that one, please. Because we're just going to add a little bit to that. Okay. What we're going to add to that one, what we're going to do is just add to that one a left tom on the last and, on the and of 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Have a go at that and just tell me how you feel about that, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. How's that? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll go back. Let's go back to the main rhythm, which is like from Hot Pants, which is this one. 1 kick, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's just play that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, how do we feel about that one? I think you should be quite good with that one. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play that rhythm, exactly the same rhythm, but take our right hand over to the floor tom. And that right hand is going to be playing the rim. So you're going to have to angle your stick a little bit. So you're just hitting the rim of the floor tom. All right? And then we're going to play exactly the same rhythm we just did. Yeah. 5. I knew you'd be good at that one. So exactly the same rhythm, but using that right hand instead of on the hi-hat to the floor tom. And I'm just hitting with my stick like this on the rim. Okay. So have a go at that and see how you feel about that. Again, 1 to 5, that'd be fantastic. Just like that. Okay. Same rhythm. We're just moving the hand over. If you've got the hang of that, we're going to add one more hit in with the left hand before we move on to anything else, okay? It is a great rhythm. It is really cool. You kind of want to view it as a 2-bar rhythm, which then repeats quite a bit in the song. Excellent. So a 5 on the floor tom too. Really good. So what we're going to do is we're just adding with the left hand right? So we're doing this now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the and, after the second snare, we're coming onto that left tom. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So add that in, see how that goes. All right, now that is just bar 1. That's the first bar. Have a play through that a couple of times. I'm just going to grab a quick drink while you do that. And again, if you could let me know if that's going well, that would be great. Ah, can't open my bottle. Aha! Okay, I'll just demonstrate that again as well. So as I said, I'm just repeating the first bar there. That's all we've done so far. Okay, so it does take a little bit of practice, but all we need to do is after, let's just try this a few times. Okay, so I'm hitting rim of the floor tom, snare, and then left tom and floor tom. Bam, bam. Okay. Just do that a few times. Because that's all that's happening with that left hand. It's coming across, moving up onto that left tom. All right. Now let's go back to the rhythm again. And that's where we're doing that little movement. Okay. That should be hopefully feeling a bit more comfortable. That is just the first bar. When playing this, it's a really good idea to view it as a 2-bar sequence, like a little pattern of 2 bars that we then repeat, okay? Instead of bar 1 and 2. Kind of view it all as one thing. I think it helps learning it. The second bar, still on the rim of that floor tom. Going to go into the second bar, okay? What's really important, it doesn't matter if you can play it perfectly yet. It's just important that you understand what you have to do, okay? Because that's what practice is for. The second bar goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Let's get the kick in. Let's get the kick and focus on the first little bit. 1 and 2 and. So we've got the kick on the and of 2, okay? Just look at the music quickly. So the kick in a normal place on 1, and then the and of 2. So straight after that snare. 1 and 2 and. Let's get that in. 1 and 2 and. So play that a couple of times. 1 and 2 and. It's getting that kick on the and of 2. Okay. Play it a couple more times. 1 and 2 and. Really focus on getting that kick on the and of 2, okay, after the snare. 1 and 2 and. Right. Now we're going to add one on the and of 3 as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's a bit weird, isn't it? 1 and 2 and 3 and. So getting the kick there on the and of 2 and the and of 3. All right, let's just play that a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And again, 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's a weird one, huh? How are you doing with that so far? Just up to the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay? 1 and 2 and. I'll play it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So the kick on the and of 2 and the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, how are you feeling with that one now? Gonna add one more thing into it, which is a funny thing to do, but it's really cool. All right, so we've got the snare as normal on 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Really focusing on those ands with the kick drum. It's a tricky one to play. So what we're doing is we're hitting the kick drum. If you look at your music, we're hitting the kick drum in the second bar now. We're doing the second bar. We're hitting the kick drum on 1, the and of 2, and the and of 3. Which is weird because normally we hit it on 3. But we're not hitting it on 3. We're hitting it on the and of 2 and the and of 3. So remember your count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Only way to do it is just to count and just go nice and slowly, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and. Hopefully you can hear me counting all right there. So the kick is going 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right? 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the kick drum. Again, just try playing it, all right? Just try playing it a few times. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So I'll play that again on the drums, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Goes like that, okay? All right, hopefully that's a bit better. But as I say, the only way to get it right, because it is a bit confusing at first, we're so used to hitting the kick drum on 3 that when we start hitting it in different places, it takes a bit of time for it to feel natural. So you have to start slowly and you have to start really counting it carefully, all right? So as I said, 1 and 2 and 3 and is the kick drum. The snare's normal, 2 and 4, all right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, yeah? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it gives us that really cool rhythm. Okay, right, so let's try that bit one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It isn't easy. You have to be patient, okay? I've got one more thing to add in, just so you will understand what everything, so you can understand all the music. One more thing we need to add in at the end, and that is a floor tom. All right, and we hit the floor tom with the left hand because the right hand is still hitting that rim. So we've got two hands basically going over to that floor tom. Right? So this second bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and. Whoa! Excuse me. Right, so let me do it again. So we got the rim of the floor tom every single beat, okay? So that's just hitting every time. And I'm going to call out the drums that I'm hitting. So kick and snare, kick, kick, snare, floor tom. So we're finishing with that floor tom. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is how we're finishing that rhythm there. Okay? So from the beginning, goes like that, and we've got to mix them both up. So it's coming from the left tom in the first pattern, floor tom in the second bar. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and that's how we get that different rhythm going on that we use in this song so much.